acting out. We are playing for fun. Sam is running late, but Ashley's here tonight. And Laura's chilling dice. Yeah, 'cause we are basically gods. We are humbled by doors. I encourage violence.
Hello and welcome to NPCs of Wildemount reviewing Critical Role 2, episode 14. The song you just heard was from one of our wonderful followers, Kev, who sent that to us. And
Kev G Mor.
Kev G Mor, you're a legend. He's also the guy that sent fan art of us. Thank you so much. We thought we'd play that because you put a lot of work into it. It shows, man, that was amazing. Awesomeness.
And he deserves more people to listen to it.
Yeah,
Good
so
song.
link is down there if you want to continue listening to the song after this, or pause us. And
We had his permission to do that.
We asked.
We asked politely.
Yeah. Because we're good. We don't want to copyright or anything. But yeah, Kev G Mor, thanks for the song.
Between
man.
us fighting with each other, we do ask the right. We had a fight before.
We continuously treat each other without respect sometimes, but not.
Well,
not
me,
that much.
we're just very passionate in our beliefs, and it just doesn't go down as well.
Yeah.
Notice the gap here.
Yeah, that's not for framing or anything.
No.
Barriers right there. Man.
Yeah, we've got. What was it? Just whatever.
Anyway, welcome to NPCs of Wildemount on D20 Multiverse, where nerds are power. We'd just like to thank you guys for joining us today. So, essentially, we've got some interesting roleplay stuff that kicked up at the end of the last episode, and we see the continuation of that when this... what? It's a visual gag. I had to go out and buy those for that.
I know. That's what makes it painful.
Any hoodie in the blowfish.
I think it's like let's bridge it, saying not a lot happened.
That's true.
They deliberately made this a shorter episode, and there's really, you could sum it up in two sentences the entire episode if you wanted.
If you wanted to, I've got a page. I used to do about a page and a half. But because there was not too much going on, I worked on my drawing a bit harder this week.
Oh really?
Yeah. So
I'm in a very cynical mood today as well.
Today. So essentially, I'm allowed to dig. It's alright. So essentially we start. Fuck off. Sympathy, right? Alright. We start off with Molly explaining why this Tabaxi person just called him Lucian. Now, the first big chunk of the episode was this, and it sparked many theories on Reddit. I will try and get through the most popular theories about what's going on here. No time to cover them all.
Let's be honest, no one really knows what's going on right now.
It's true. It's we're at a crossroads in the campaign. There's been some speculation on message boards that it's an evil party. We just haven't discovered the fact they're actually evil yet.
I don't think they are. I think they've just got shades of darkness, but I think ultimately they'll be good.
I do believe somewhere in the cybersphere, one of the cast said they're not playing an evil campaign. But the more I think about their inclinations and the steps they're taking towards that darker path, I think it actually could be a possibility.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be that big thing that they do to save the world, to know they're really gonna be good. So they have to do that big thing to save a whole huge group of people.
Well, see, I kind of feel like it's like the Fable games where you start just doing things that are not morally standard.
Or overly promised and under-delivered.
No, full of fourth wall breaking and wonderful roleplay aspects. No, so essentially, just these small choices they're making. Keep the gold, take these things, take his armors, all that stuff could add up to, horns growing evil campaign. That's all I'm saying.
I think you just want them to be evil. I'm starting to feel that.
A little bit.
And also Yasha's here.
Yes!
We should mention that.
So Laura's not here because of pregnancy, probably.
No, they mentioned she got a con flu.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right.
She got sick.
Which is, there's 10,000 people at a con. Anyway, we've been talking for half an hour. We haven't even gotten to the episode. Right.
Half an hour?
Yeah. Time has warped in this bubble. So, they meet the Tabaxi woman again. That's where they start off.
A black Tabaxi.
A black Tabaxi. And a big ogre called Kree, I do believe.
No, Kree was the Tabaxi.
Right, Kree is the Tabaxi.
The ogre was Kutha.
Okay, and Goliath called Sora as well. Now, basically, the party is going, wait, Lucian? What? That doesn't make... What? And Molly's going, not right now, kind of thing. But, they talk about a group, and again, we have another name. the Tomb Takers, which was kind of Molly's past. The Tomb Takers.
Which we find out that Molly doesn't know a lot about. Which is odd.
So essentially,
it's like we meet two different like Mollys in this episode. We got
Yeah.
one that doesn't want to talk about the past, and the other one doesn't remember the past. But it kind of seemed like that decision was made after the fact.
Yeah.
That Molly didn't actually know anything.
well, there's a theory about that. There is a theory about that. But we'll get to that a bit later on.
Yeah, when it happens. Yeah.
Yeah. So essentially, they're talking here. They've given the password to the barmaid to go into the secret room through the trapdoor, and that's where the Baxter recognises Molly. Calls him Lucian. The party goes, "What's that about?" He's like, "I'll tell you later." And that's when they meet the gentleman, or they find the people working for the gentleman, and kind of ask, "Well, what's he like as a boss?" Because we're kind of considering finding him.
Yeah.
Then they meet him. That's when they meet him. In a quite dark little room, and they get a whole bunch of guns pointed at them and stuff, and there he is, the gentleman.
It's basically a mob style kind of underground moment that you meet the big boss.
Yeah, some kind of like 1920s film noirish, almost Lovecraftian. Yes, don't skip up or we'll cut your tongues. So, well, that's 1920s lingo.
I don't know, it just sounded funny.
I watch film noir. So
I watch TV once.
Mine broke. Anyway, so we find him. He lives up to his name, being a debonair kind of sophisticate, I'd say, in the way that he carries himself. And one of the first things he talks about is, "Are you lucky?" And for
Punk.
Yeah, do you feel lucky?
Lucky punk.
Yeah. Have I expended 2 or 3 charges from the rod of fireball? Well, you got to ask yourself. Anyway,
That was a very good reference. I do applaud that one.
It happens from time to time.
Don't have a drink.
It's the most condescending clap I've ever heard.
No, this is a condescending clap. This is a real clap. This is a condescending clap.
Okay. Okay, let's just categorize claps. Alright. Golf clap. Alright. Clap for...
Why are we doing this?
I don't know. Again, half an hour.
I was just showing you the difference between the two claps.
I thought we'd do a whole episode on claps. I don't know. Anyway.
Do a whole episode on the clap.
That actually made me choke. So essentially, he proposes a game. Now, we've already seen one game recently, a gambling game in Matt's world, which is roll d6s and then re-roll and highest wins kind of thing. This is a different gambling game. You roll a d8, you hide it. You bet, you roll a d6, you hide it, and you bet.
And it was Ford playing this game if track.
So Ford is gambling with the gambler, with the gentleman, because the gentleman wants to figure out if they're lucky. This is kind of like an employer who will take all the resumes and throw half of them away because he doesn't want to hire a lucky
It's like the shady mob boss trying to work out what's up with these guys that try and figure out how they roll. How
they handle themselves in a high-pressure situation. So essentially they gamble. Ford puts down a lot of gold. It's like 600 gold pieces in total throughout the game.
Which you find out was his own gold?
For a bit, I thought he was gambling with the party's money and had just lied to them about it.
And even the party thought that.
Yeah. So essentially, he wins. He wins a decent amount of gold. The gentleman deems him lucky and therefore worthy, and that's when they start discussing business.
Basically, they come to kind of a deal. One, to sneak out Horace.
Yes.
Which we'll discuss what we got wrong about Horace later
on.
on.
So the Knights of Requital, essentially Horace wants a way out because he's feeling trapped, and they think, well, maybe the gentleman can facilitate that.
Yeah. So basically, they discuss with them to get Horace to basically sneak Horace out of the city, and also basically the gentleman gives them a mission as well.
Yeah, kill a beast. Essentially is the quest, and the reward for such a thing. The gentleman mentions that after being seen near the High Rector's house in the debacle that took place one episode, Prince, hence, what's the one for previous, like the word hence, but for whence? 1920s
words.
Lingo. Yes, 1820s lingo. Not so much.
Hence.
Hence is the hence, but the back one is whence. I don't know. Help me out in the chat.
Why did you say previously?
Previously, had been seen.
Why do you use words you know?
It's probably a good rule to just use words that I know. Flamboyantly, anyway, essentially they've been seen near the High Rectors during the heist, I guess, and there's a bit of heat. Some people were looking for the Mighty Nine. The gentleman kind of says, help me out and I will stop these investigations.
Yeah. So basically, that's the deal they come to, and that's what essentially they agreed to do.
Yeah.
Now, after they kind of agreed to do it, they decided to do a bit of a kind of information gathering around the bar. So they kind of all independently kind of do their own things. A group of them go and find some information about previous people that have gone in to find this beast, to find out this undead kind of. They described it very vaguely.
Yeah. So they find some people in the bar that had worked for the gentleman and had failed to complete this quest.
Yeah.
They had mentioned that there had been some spectral lights that could shock people, lightning attacks, essentially, some kind of thing, and had failed to clear it out. And then Bo, in traditional Bo style, is a bit of a dick. And since you ran away when you saw balls of a light, kind of thing. There's been a couple of people on Reddit that. That's just with Bo. I think we all feel like Bo at some point in our life.
I've got a theory about what's the future having with Bo.
Hit me.
I don't know whether to mention it now, but I think Bo's going to get with Caleb.
Bo and Caleb? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're going to be called Bo Bib. Lib. Bo Lib.
Or KO.
KO! I like that one. KO.
There we go. So essentially, just before they leave, the gentleman Not tries a game of chance of her own, and the gentleman in kind of like badass fashion goes, that's the alcohol, that's the poison, and then drinks the poison. Chat loved that, the players loved that, they thought that was awesome. But yeah, they talked to the guys that had failed before them. They essentially said spooky undead things.
It was kind of vague, but we got a brief understanding that's like an undead kind of creature.
Then we go back to conversations with the Tabaxi Cree, or McCree. And essentially...
That was condescending.
That was reincorporation.
Yeah, I know, it's pretty good, eh? We do that quite a lot in these
It's a high-level improvising tactic. Anyway, technique.
Never studied improv in my life.
Did it for like 12 years. Essentially, we find out a ton about Molly in this next bit of roleplay. Now, I would like to just say, I think we might even agree on this, Molly would be the MVP for this week.
I agree.
Yeah, there we go.
We should mention the bad joke with the ogre, though. You know the joke that the ogre didn't get?
Oh, yes, but... wait, let me
The
get
joke about the deer?
Yes, what do you call a deer with no eyes? No idea. Can you edit in like a...
No, what a condescending clap. You get a condescending clap.
So, we find out a ton. Now, we find out that the Tabaxi had known Molly back when Molly was called Lucian. Then we find out that there had been a ritual that had gone wrong.
Now, keep in mind the Zone of Truth has been cast by Jester, who's technically not there, but they've been playing Jester, or basically Laura's been texting them what to do.
Yeah.
So Zone of Truth has been cast, so you'd like to assume what we're hearing is true.
Now remember, Zone of Truth does not force you to tell the truth. You can still talk your way around questions, you just cannot lie at any point.
So the specific information we do find is technically true.
Now as a DM, I see this as, if you want a really interesting social encounter that's not too heavy to plan, but you want some good roleplay, a Zone of Truth conversation is quite fun because you get to watch the players try and figure out how not to tell the information they don't want to give. So essentially we find out that Molly or Lucian had died during a ritual, that they'd waited forever. He hadn't come back through Spear the Dying or anything like that, so they buried him. And then he woke up 2 years later with no memory
of what happened.
Was it 2 years later, or was he... No,
but how did he know that?
That's a good point.
See, that's what I'm confused about. Is because technically it's not a lie saying he doesn't remember anything.
Yeah.
And he keeps on saying that's what I was told. So obviously someone from his past found him and told him all this.
So essentially, they bury him. He wakes up with amnesia, essentially. However, during this conversation, he says things like, never trust the truth.
He's very vague.
He says things like, what happened before was not me. And he says something about how that person was somebody else. Now, there's two prevailing theories. One is that he's talking existentially and poetically about this. The other is that he's actually talking honestly. It was not him, and he is a spirit that is embodying someone else.
Embodying Molly.
Yeah. So Molly is a shape changer type being who had taken this guy who had died in a ritual and just taken over his body. Because Matt at one point actually did create a class of this kind of thing, a ghost that kind of changes through bodies. So people were like, well, what if he's not just Bloodhunter? What if he's Matt's other class that had been credited as well? And this created a huge rift and divide on the message boards, because some people were like, no, he's talking metaphorically, and other people were going, no, the way that he said it, that's proof.
It's annoying.
Personally, I have no idea.
I have no idea. I'm even more confused now after that.
Yeah.
Than I was after the episode.
Essentially, he starts, because he mentions one of the first things that he remembers being told is for the week following his resurrection, or like taking over this body, all he could say was the word empty. Which kind of makes me feel...
Empty. That's what I wrote down. Yeah.
So it kind of makes me feel like the previous person that he'd stolen the body from was trying to convey that he's not there in that body anymore. He's empty.
He's an empty shell, you could say.
Yeah.
We also find about Moonweaver, which
Yes.
is the deity, so it's an elven deity that Molly follows, which could be related to that theory.
Now, the tattoo is the snake.
Yeah, he's got a lot of tattoos.
Yep, he says that some of them was when he woke up, he already had them, and some of them that he got, after that.
Fact.
Yeah.
Now, the Moonweaver that he follows is not an approved god.
No.
So that's worth noting.
Yeah.
So that's probably why it's kept all secret.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, we learnt more about Molly, but now we technically know less about Molly. Because Molly's technically not Molly.
We got like 2 answers and 12 questions.
Yeah. So that's why, from a character point of view, from a story point of view, I think it's fantastic. We added a huge chapter to Molly's story.
Yeah.
But now we've even got more questions and we're all confused and we're like, oh, what is that?
So, to sum up situation, the gentleman who runs an illegal trade of items coming through the city has hired the party to kill a beast. We find out a ton about Molly, and also another theory I read about the dodecahedron, which is essentially a D12.
You mean the dodecahedron?
Dodecahedron.
Dodecahedron.
Yes.
Yeah, I did it.
It's essentially a D12. It's a platonic solid, which, if you want to check out platonic solids, is essentially how many sides a symmetrical three-dimensional shape can have. But the D20 dodecahedron, some people have started thinking, well, now Matt's lore and Matt's crafting of the worlds is very precise. This dodecahedron could be, because it's 12-sided, something to do with the months. Or something to do with maybe some star signs or something like that.
Or it could be just that's the way it's shaped.
It could just be that's the way it's shaped. This is why this is Bridges' theories.
Yeah. It's like Matt's probably like, oh, let's just make it a D12. And everyone's like, what does it mean? He's like, crap, now I have to think of what it actually means.
It's like being in an English class in university and you spend 4 lessons on the fact that the curtains were blue in a certain scene while the teacher goes, yes, it represents the fact that we're all a bit... And it's like, no, it was scene painting. But anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you may think, maybe this means something. We want you. Maybe that's how we want you to subscribe to our channel. No, it's just the only Dungeons and Dragons poster we have.
Now, you also see that we're standing in front of some stairs. Now, that signifies and symbolises ascension to a greater self.
Does that mean I ascend higher than you because I live here and I go up and then you don't because you go down?
Yes.
I wasn't really prepared for you to agree with that.
I know, I thought it was the biggest curveball I could throw.
Anyway, so once we go through that big Molly episode, we again get another Pumat's soul. Because Yasha's never met Pumat's soul. And I honestly think it's reaching the point of getting too much Pumat's soul by this point.
I think they just love him, and every episode they go
I don't think Matt is now. Because if you notice, there was a very agitated Pumat's soul in this one.
That's true, actually.
And I think Matt's getting to the point where it's like, go to someone else.
I actually think I saw the moment, because when they're talking about having things crafted, and Pumat's like, I'm not a blacksmith, I'm an enchanter, Matt was kind of like, oh, he's a bit standoffish.
I think we're getting too much Pumat's soul, and I think Matt is kind of going, stop it. Just stop.
I've created 100 NPCs, stop talking to that.
I've created 100 NPCs, but you keep on going to the one that can clone himself.
Although, to be fair, the chat loves Pumat's soul.
Everyone, don't get me wrong, love Pumat's soul.
Yeah.
But the reason why Victor and other NPCs are so awesome is because we get them in moderation.
That's true. I wouldn't have fell in love with Gilmore if we did not have...
Exactly. So maybe if you're hearing this, anyone from Critical Role,
They all watch.
just take a couple episodes off of seeing format.
Okay, so now the shopping is actually important, some of the stuff. Ford spends 800 gold pieces.
Are you saying shopping's never important? Just this particular time it is.
Consumerism. 800 gold pieces on a cloak. We don't find out what it does, but he looked really excited when he got given the bit of paper. So, we'll see.
Be a magical cape.
Yeah, and so on and so on. Anyway, they shop, basically.
Yeah.
For the 400 club.
And I put Bo as a dick to Caleb.
Yeah.
Because Caleb was kind of describing how much of a dick Bo is.
Speaking of Caleb, I'd like to unveil my drawing of the week. Now, before I show you this,
Oh my god.
the cat, I did Frumpkin and Caleb and not, but the cat came out slightly more Hitlerish than I had initially intended, but it's in pen, so I can't. But I'll scan this.
He's wearing a tie. I don't understand why he's wearing a tie.
And then you've got Not in the corner.
Explain the tie and why he's wearing like he's going to an office.
And then we've got Not in the corner saying you can respond to this message.
You're not explaining why he's that way.
When I hear the word Frumpkin, I picture a cat in a suit. I don't know.
It's not even in a suit. He's just in a shirt tie.
With Hitler here, dude. But yeah, that's Caleb and Not and Frumpkin. I'm going to keep doing these until I get good.
And I'm going to keep editing them in because that's what I do.
So anyway, after all this, this is where the end of the episode kind of comes up. Now you'll notice we've mentioned about 3 things so far. Not a lot happened.
And we've tried to stretch it out.
With banter and things.
And a drawing of Hitler cat.
You can respond to this message. Anyway, so essentially they go get Horace, they put a bag over his head, and so we can't see where they're going.
Yeah, so basically they take Horace, they explain to Horace what's going on, take Horace back to the evening nip, downstairs to the gentleman. The package will be delivered, so they will take Horace away, and the party, the Mighty Nine, will go somewhere else to defeat this little beast, and they kind of get tricked kind of all over the place, kind of, so they're real disorientated when they're actually going. But then they eventually go down a cellar, they get kind of, well, not cellar, or kind of some kind of passageway, and it gets shut behind them, and they're in the dark, and essentially they're on their own travelling down the pathway. And that's really where it ends.
So essentially they hear a rather terrifying sound, and Matt does it beautifully. He's a voice actor, and they hear some whips and stuff. And the scene was exciting. And when Matt called the episode there, people were really disappointed because they wanted to keep going. But hey, 3 hours is good.
Yeah, and he also did say like the past 2 episodes there were 4-hour stints, and I think he just wanted to give everyone a breather. And
also, I feel like something important is about to happen, and he wanted Laura to be there as well when that happens.
Man, in the terms of story, I don't think he actually predicted for them to find out the mission and then go straight away. Yeah, probably not. I think he expected that to be dragged out, so maybe they just got too ahead of themselves and he didn't have everything ready to go. Yeah. Which is Matt's kind of way. Yeah, so that was a really fun episode. It was very heavy on the roleplay. Perfect. No combat, which I'm hoping there's some next episode, because I want to see what they can do at level 4. Yeah. It'll be interesting. We haven't had a serious level 4 combat yet. So have we had a battle with Yasha since the beginning?
Not that I can remember.
So that'll be good.
Yeah.
To get more Yasha.
We love you, Ashley. Oh, and I'd just like to give a mention to Sam's intro that he did for D&D Beyond. It was hilarious.
And it sounds like we're going to get a lot more Yasha, Ashley, for a couple of weeks, for a while. I think they must be on a break for a blind spot. And another really cool thing that they did this episode was every natural one that they rolled, it was D&D Beyond, right? Would donate $100. I don't think it was D&D, bro. No, it was a random critter. Right. Every nat one that they rolled, he would donate $100 to 826 LA, which is probably their longest running charity that they've supported. It sounds like an improv charity. L26, yeah. Yeah, it's some improv charity over in America. They have heaps of chapters throughout America. It's a literacy kind of program. I think, yeah. So yeah, that's us. That's it. That's what we had this week. I didn't get to watch this one live because my Friday shifts have kicked back in. But I got to cool up with my cat and watch. I never watch it live because I get too distracted. That's difficult. It's real hard if you can't pause and go make a coffee when you've got to map out the whole episode. Anyway, But what we'll do, because it was a short episode, we'll do 2 comments, and mainly because they're things we got wrong last episode. Yes. Now, all you guys are out there and we say things that just aren't right, please do correct us. It's the only way we learn. It's the only way our egos can get Down a bit.
And to be fair, if my actual head size reflected my ego, I wouldn't be able to fit in this room.
I'm always depressed, so I don't have any joke. But anyway, so the first one is from K3RR4 ROM3US.
I'd just like to point out I have not seen Leet speak since the mid-90s.
It's like Kiri, I think it's Kiri Romus.
Kira, because the
Kira.
4 is an A in Leet
Oh
speak.
yeah, Kira Romus. Anyway,
Hack it.
the comment is, Horus is married to Dolan.
Yes.
We kept on calling Horus his son,
Yeah.
which is really awkward. Imagine making that mistake in real life. that wouldn't go down very well. So we do
Yeah.
apologise for Dolan and Horus out there.
We love you.
We didn't mean to muck that up. We just heard the wrong thing and we ran with it. And we just agree with each other because we apparently don't correct each other. So
That's one.
So thanks for that.
Yeah. And the other comment of the week.
The other one is from Callista Flores.
Mm-hmm.
What's that? Callista Flores.
Yeah, Clista Flores, yeah.
Alright. A couple of things. Yeah, so this is already great. The guy in the sewers was a drow.
Drow.
So
Yeah.
what's a drow?
Dark Elf. It's one of the three, if you choose an elf race from standard 50 core books, it's one of the essentially sub-races that you can choose. High Elf, Wood Elf, Dark Elf, Drow.
There you go. I just wanted you to explain that because it's a lot easier for everybody. So the comment continues, darkness is an innate ability all dark elves have.
Yes.
Do you know what darkness is?
Darkness is a spell, and it's fairly self-explanatory. Woof.
Really? What does it do?
It creates darkness.
Oh, okay.
Aptly named.
Are you improving this for it, or
From-
do you actually know?
No, that's what it does.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's what. It's like you gave it the most generic explanation, so I thought you were.
I've been watching too much because we on our other show Dragon Tavern that we do, we've been watching the D&D cartoon from the 80s, and the names for things are just like the Skull of Power, or the Dungeon Master's called Dungeon Master, and it's Weevil that's
Watch it. The link will be down below. Anyway, the comment continued. My understanding from what Matt was said about the beacon was that it was essentially stores the racial memories of the drow and passes them on.
Nah.
Yeah.
There you go.
And also, Horus is Dolan's partner, not his son. Otherwise, it's pretty good. So we do.
Hey, pretty good. I will settle for pretty good.
I will settle with pretty good.
Yeah, I'm happy. I'm going to get that on a shirt. Pretty good.
I mean, I'm happy with you guys did alright.
Yeah.
I mean...
Yeah. That's fine.
Yeah.
That's good. So always correct us because it helps us.
But be kind.
Yeah, don't be a dick.
I mean,
don't be a dick.
if we just get like 50 comments of us saying how wrong we are, we probably won't do this anymore. We'll probably be crying.
I'll just fold up the camera.
But thank you everyone that commented, watched and shared and all that stuff last episode. I really appreciate it. What are you doing?
That was me miming putting the camera away forever.
Ah.
If we get a lot of hate.
Yeah. But we do have other content on the channel too.
So go check that out.
Go check that out. If you want to leave a comment about this episode that we just talked about and trying to give an explanation what this awkward tension going on, leave a comment down below.
And remember, you can always email us D20. Is it the D20 Multiverse?
It's just D20.
D20multiverse@gmail.com. We both check that, so yeah, get at us.
Yeah.
And thank you guys for 482 subscriptions to our channel. It's awesome.
That's great.
That's like 4 times more than the most views we got on our first video.
Really?
Yeah. So, thank you very much. Remember, Critical Role is life, nerds are power, and have a good morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are in the world.